Really happy to finally be back. After 11 games and like 3 weeks, it's been it was great. We got a win, which was great. I made the comeback better, but I felt good. I know my win was pretty good. Now I felt in pretty good rhythm. So yeah, it felt good. Usually the first game, you're gonna feel pretty good because you're pretty fresh and all. But I was happy where I was, and I played almost 30 minutes, so that was good as well. But most importantly, we won the game, and that was really important to start this road trip.
Sight for sore eyes for Magic fans. And if you're Steve Clifford running this team at 12-14, they've been really good defensively. They've struggled to score the ball. How do you improve from where you are if you're going to be a playoff team in the East?
Well, they got to get more consistent scoring the basketball, man. You said it. Look, they got some pieces, but they don't have that guy. When you look at the Orlando Magic team, you're saying when you need a basket, where do you go? And that's the thing. They're still looking for that guy. And I heard rumors about potential trades with the guys like DeMar DeRozan and people like that. But they're not a bad basketball team. They're going to be in that 8th spot. But Mac and B-Shaw, y'all know this. It's cool to make the playoffs, but they've been there, done that. Now you want to move up because you don't want to just sit in that 8th spot for too long because, again, it's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I think obviously, they've struggled offensively. They have to pick up the pace. Their defense is good, but they have to be able to turn that defense into offense on the other end, get some easier baskets in transition. And I think Vucevic, being back, has to mix it up a little bit more, not just rely on things on the outside. I think, in order to have a successful team, there has to be some sort of inside presence. And he can score the ball inside. He just needs to find himself in there a little bit more.
Yeah, no question. Just living and dying on the jumper alone. It's one thing when it goes in, everything looks good. Like in your math, public school math, that's 17 for 34, 50%.
I got that right?
100% right. You look really good when you do that. I tell you, when you start missing some shots, I'm often shocked when coaches go like, well, we just missed shots. How about plan B? Be a basketball player. To me, you're two things. You're either a shooter or you're a basketball player. If I missed a couple of shots, I'm putting the ball on the floor. I'm going to get fouled. Hey, when you rise up for your first jumper and you shoot it, and that thing hits the side of the rim, and you go like, ooh. Shoot the next one, you go like, ooh. Like, man, my shot is funky right now.
Yeah.
And so then you become a basketball player, and you get to the line, you run, you do all those other things, and you manufacture your 18 points, but completely different. Hey, when you rise up and you shoot your first 2 jumpers, they're nothing but twine, you can do this and shoot, because you get hot. And so they need a plan B. And I think Vucevic in the post is not bad. They can also play out with him, 5 out. When you're 5 out, someone drive to the paint. That's why you play 5 out, so the paint's wide open. They got to get that guy. Maybe it's Fultz. Maybe it's somebody that can just break down the defense and just get to the paint and get paint points and free throws when you need them.
The other side of the coin, the New Orleans Pelicans continue to struggle. This was the 9th time this season they've allowed 50% shooting by an opponent. That's a third of their games already. And they have lost a franchise record 12 in a row. Here's Alvin Gentry after what turned out to be a short afternoon against the Magic.
Are you worried at all about your own job at this point, 12 straight losses?
I've been in the league 31 years. I don't ever worry about anything that I don't have any control over. I don't have control over that, so you would have to ask that question to the people that control that. I just know that I'm going to come to work every day and do everything I can to get this turned around. That's what I do now.
Oh, no fun to be in Alvin's position right now.
We've all been there.
Well, and hanging over the whole thing is obviously Zion Williamson, who has not yet played, and there's really no firm timetable on when he's going to play in his rookie season. For Alvin, what can he do right now with what he has on the floor to turn this thing around?
Well, I think what you saw was frustration, obviously. 12 losses in a row will do that to anybody. I think what he said is he hit the nail on the head. He can't control his job security. He comes in every day, does his job to the best of his ability, and works with what he has to work with night in and night out. But when you look at their roster, not only is Zion Williamson missing, but they have a roster full of young guys that are still figuring themselves out. Now, they play hard in a lot of games. They've been competitive and had to put themselves in position to win, but just haven't been able to get over that hump and figure out how to close games out. And that's typical when you have a young team. So, I don't know that there's much. You can go get Red Auerbach, Pat Riley, Phil Jackson, and bring them back, I don't know that they would do any better with this roster that he has to work with.
Red
right
Auerbach is not available. I know that for certain. Defensively, the one glaring thing is the Pelicans are the second worst defensive team in the NBA. That seems like the obvious place to start, and I know that's not necessarily Alvin's history as a coach, but that's the one area they could improve on a nightly basis.
Well, you know, the most amazing thing to me, when you have a young team, you would think because they're young, they're going to play with energy, they're going to play hard, they're going to be tough, they're going to be flying all over the place defensively. No. Young players are the worst defenders in the league. That's why you struggle. So they all think everything starts and ends on offense. And the hardest thing to do, and Matt and B. Shaw know this, is to get young players to buy into the defensive end. Because guess what? When they come in on that first contract, everybody wants that second contract, and everyone thinks you get paid by scoring.
Numbers.
And that's the thing about it. Everybody have to look around the room and say, look, Zion Williams, if he stays healthy, he's getting a payday. Other guys. But you have to look within yourself and look at your ability and say, look, I'm going to stay in this league by playing hard, playing good team defense. And as a coaching staff, you got to emphasize that. You got to put 80% of your time on the defensive end. Players learn how to score. You guys know that. You will never have a problem with players shooting the basketball. Playing D is another thing, and that's the thing that they have to stick to every day. He's got to drill that defense, make these guys accountable, because at the end of the day, that's where they're going to have a chance to win games.
Yeah, you know, for me, you got to really drill your transition defense. At least you just can't be giving up easy baskets in transition. If you're constantly running back and they're running 4-on-3s, 4-on-2s, 5-on-4s, 5-on-3s on you, you're going to get creamed. Then you got to stay in front of your guy, and it sounds basic, but you've got to stay in front of your guy. You can't get beat with just a simple move. If your guy beats you like Fultz goes behind the back, yeah, the coach can say, hey, man, you know, hell of a move. You just